Okay, well, what is it All right, let's see if the mic is working. Hmm. Mic test again. Okay, so 30-second delay. Whatever. Anyways, on with the recording stuff. All right, so this is a game that I have been in for 21 turns. That's actually not long enough to have um, researched up to tech level 4, in part because I actually built a few colonies. And uh, that's actually an example of why I most games don't bother with these small colony worlds at all, because the amount of cash I'm getting from this now, realistically, after I go and upgrade this from a colony to a full settlement, after I upgrade it, it will keep all of this population. So it will actually generate a lot more cash. It's just that um it's still going to take it a long time to actually get to where it has any significant value, and waiting until you can do a full colony is still beneficial because, well, you're not actually going to it's just bad return on investment. Let's put it that way. It's bad return on investment. Okay, so how to do actually like do the basics. Like, first off, it's like you have to create designs. I just realized that it's not recording drop down menus. I don't know how to fix that. Holy crap. Wow. Hang on a second. Yeah. It not recording the window frame also means that you can't see at the thing at the top. I'm not sure how, why it's not recording the window frame. Dang. Okay, well, up here there's a menu that says Empire, and then you have Create Design. And okay, well, I had to tell it every single one of the windows that this opens and set those as a separate object in Streamlabs to record. And I just noticed that it's not recording the title bar on the window, just the contents of the window, so that you can't actually see that it's named design classes up here. Wow. Anyway, though, so the colony module, see, this number here is the number of people that it spawns with. Place a colony module on a planet, it spawns with 50 million people. You place a settlement module on a planet, it spawns with 200. So that colony world that I have that started at 50 and has been worked up to 104, I think. Um, yeah, upgrading that to a settlement will add 200 million just for placing a settlement. So the 100 and some, yeah, it was something, but it's kind of a bad value. Anyway, though, in this save, I don't actually have the ability to build a full colony yet because you need a light cruiser for that, and I don't have that yet. Purchase items. What? Why is it not showing the purchase window? Oh, okay. Because of the fact that I had it said find window of same executable or window of same type, it was pulling the wrong uh, window from Space Empires 2. Hmm. Okay. Anyways, so you buy tech levels the same way you buy ships you build. You choose a location where you can build something and then you tell it to buy that item. Notice how the credits available here is only 4,000. Well, that is because colonies. My starting colony, my homeworld, is a value of 513. The real money I get from this is less than 1,500. Why? Because the population is not that high. Realistically, at full population, my homeworld is going to give me 513 times 6. So, about a little over 3,000 a turn. When it has the population cap completely. Well, because the population is 3,000 population units. And yeah, it's basically like you take the population this and the sector value and like put like a period between the first digit in the sector value and the two following it and do that as a percentage. So like 513% of the population is the real money. Or well, actually no. This needs to be divided by 5. Sorry. Anyways, so yeah, this is part of the reason why early game is so slow in Space Empires 2 is that you don't have enough money to do research and you can't uh, buy colony ships because you don't have money. It's like the basic, like the full settlement module that you need in order to be able to have a population higher than I think 1,500 or 1,000. I forget exactly what the cap is on a. 'Cause, like there's the three different levels and each one has a different population cap. Let's see here. Empire, create design. Does it say in the components info? Oh, you can't see that. Oh, one sec. Add another window. Component. Window title must match. Ship systems. There. Okay. So Oh, I need to, make it large enough you can actually see it properly. Yeah, this is way larger than it actually supposed to be. This is like a quarter the size of the other window, but whatever. Anyway, so this is the bottom tier outpost module. You can place one of these with a scout hull because it only has a size of 5, but a scout hull with one of these can only move it one sector a turn. So it's functionally useless. And also, because it has a starting population of 1, it will give you almost nothing as a return. And it costs you 1,000 to build it. Again, it's one of those things that got dropped in later game editions because of the fact that it was a useless feature. Yeah, so like skipping ahead to settlements, which are actually kind of insanely expensive for what they do, is what people would typically end up doing. And these are also something that you can't immediately do. Yeah, at tech level 1, the only thing you can do is build an outpost module that moves at a speed of 1, which is useless. Tech level 2, you can have an outpost module that moves at a speed of up to 5, which is still an outpost and thus has almost no value. Colonies. There is actually an edge case for this. See, asteroids in Space Empires 2 are in fact actually colonizable objects. It's just that they can't have a settlement module on them. They only go up to colony. So having a colony design does have some value. It's just that in Space Empires 2, asteroids also have a production capacity or like an actual like value in terms of like the money that you get from them that's like half of what a terrestrial planet gives you, like 200 to 250, something like that, which is bad. So and also let's see here. See if it will actually show me the stats for the colony module. Okay, there, yeah. Maximum population is 500. Okay. Yeah, the fact that it's capped at a 500 population drastically limits the value as well because the fact that the money you get from a colony or settlement or outpost is a function of the population. So having it capped at 500 means that the maximum possibility will be the exact amount of the value here. Okay, this one says it's 288. Yeah, value 288. That is the maximum possible amount of money per turn you would get from having a colony there. And if it's not a capped population, less than that. This game did have the idea of doing population transports, but realistically, they do have value. I mean, like, population growth is a percentage, kind of, sort of, with a minimum of 1. It's just that population transports are kind of slow, and I always saw it as a bad value for money because build a population transport or build a colony ship. Let's see here. How much does it cost to actually create one? Okay, the cargo hold component is what you need for population transport. It doesn't actually say how many population you can store in it. Crap. I genuinely don't know how many population units you can transport with that. Would suck if it was only one. Is I know it's a feature I tinkered with at some point in the past because when I was learning to play the game, I tried literally all of the things. Also, several of these buttons here are for things that that are very, very late game technologies that you need to buy like tech level 15 or tech level 24. And like cloaking, like having a ship engage cloak, having a ship disengage cloak. Uh Destroy warp point, create warp point, destroy star. Those are such late game technologies that yeah, whatever. Now here is the colonize button. Oh yeah, I didn't add that sub window to the list of things that it holds. Boy. Anyway though. Yeah, this is coded like an early 90s word processing application, not a modern computer game. So trying to record it is insane. This is actually a good reason why someone would do a monitor capture, except that the screen resolution this game was written to expect is extremely small. Okay, so anyway, next ship. This only goes for ships that haven't been told to halt. Here is a button for halting, which that's useful. Now, this system over here also has a super terrestrial planet. Over 650 is an extremely good value. I think these things can technically go up to it's either 699 that's the cap or 700. Super terrestrial planets are definitely something worth fighting over. Yeah, also there's an empire there that's the green guys, so I'm going to avoid that system for now. Honestly, I have no idea what I was doing in this game. This is one that I played it several years ago and just like abandoned it, and I used it for this video because of it's one that have a reasonable amount of technological development as a demonstration. But again, turn 21 is relatively early. So anyway, here we have an example of two ships. This is what I was referring to as a porty yard design. It's very simple. A space yard component and engines. That's it. It allows me to buy items at this location. And also, it has the ability to construct slash repair items at this location. Yeah, see, in Space Empires 2, you don't have build queues. You buy items and then you construct the item. So, if I was to buy a rock at this location, the two components would be spawned in a damaged slash not yet built state. And then I would need to have the Portillard here repair the components in order to have them usable, which in the case of engines, means having the ship actually move. Or in the case of a colony module, having the option to colonize. And in this case, I actually built a colony ship at here. Like this is what I was saying about uh, building a module in place is that I have the port yard go to this location. I build the colony thing at this location. The port yard has a movement speed of 5. The colony ship doesn't need to have a movement higher than 1 because it's only ever going to use 1 movement point to colonize. Boom. Added population 50 million. Yeah, you guys couldn't see that because of the fact that I hadn't added that particular window. But still, now I have a colony. Now we look at the colony's info thing, and you see that it added 65 to my real money that I'm going to get at the beginning of next turn. Which, yeah, I mean, that's something. Is it worth the however many thousand that the ship cost? I would argue no, because of the fact that in order to, I need to go back and upgrade it to make it into a settlement later. That's the problem with it. There is nothing you can have do with a colony to upgrade it without sending another colony ship with a settlement module to upgrade. It's literally the only way to upgrade it from a regular colony to a settlement. That is a design thing that got completely dumped in later editions of Space Empires for good reason. Anyway, so how does movement work? Okay, you click this button here, select shifts for movement, which I hid in my sources in Streamlabs because of the fact that for some unknowable reason, closing this window does not cause Streamlabs to stop displaying it. Anyway, so I chose which things I want to move. Now I'm going to hide that source again so you can actually see it. So now, after I have chosen which ships from this location I want to move, I left click on where I want them to move to. And then you see them go zoom. And now we have the warp button, which basically works the same way. It's like select ships for warp, which it's basically the same window. It's just um oh yeah, also it's like because of the fact that it's not actually capturing the title bar of the window, just the contents of the window, you can't actually see that this is actually the same one for movement because it's not capturing the title bar. Right. Okay. Anyway though, we click OK and then we see it is now in a different system, which has these guys, the Domine, as they are called. Ship info. You can't look at that. This game actually doesn't have any ability to see or remember what enemy designs are. Like, also, an Ares 2 ES, that's an escort. There are things we can infer about these because, like Mars, ES. So, Empire create design. ES is the hull that only has 6 space in it. So, you can build combat vessels that are tech level 1. It's just that tech level 1 weapons, like see this level thing here? This is the tech level of the weapon. So tech level 1 has mass driver cannon 1 as an option, disruptor 1 as an option, phaser 1 as an option. So, but this is a size 3 component or a size 2 component, which means that the maximum possible speed for an escort with a phaser 1 is 3. It can move at a rate of 3, which realistically in combat in this game is done in rounds, and you need to run away from it for several rounds in order for combat to be over. But if your ship has a speed of 5 or 6, running away from it for that number of rounds is actually not very hard. Also, none of the tech level 1 weapons has a range higher than 2. This is also significant because of the fact that if you never get within firing range, it can't shoot at you. Yeah, tech level 3, you get plasma torpedoes, which you know what? Those things are a problem because if someone is smart, they will actually put them where you can't just run around them. But yeah, it's not that smart. Honestly, one of my favorite weapons is a tech level 5 weapon, which is Disruptor 3, because it has a range of 4 and is a direct fire weapon. That is actually quite dangerous. At tech level 2, Mass Driver Cannon 2 is extremely good because of the fact that, like, yes, it has the whole like reload thing, but it has a range of 3 and a damage of 2 at maximum range because it doesn't have dissipation over range. That's what this is here talking about. This is the amount that the damage decreases over range, and quite frankly, it's a lot. I mean, go from 2 damage to essentially 1 damage at maximum range is makes the fact that it's a size 3 component a lot less of a good thing than it would be otherwise. It's actually part of the reason why I prefer disruptors is that disruptors don't have damage fall off over range. Like phasers theoretically have better damage, but you actually have to get at what is closer than their maximum range in order to actually get the same amount of damage out of it. Let's see if I can pull up the component list. Ah, here we are. Yeah, here it actually shows how the a damage fall off over range actually works in practice. The 2 damage that it claims it to do, you can only get at a range up to 1. Yeah. No. Nuh-uh, not worth it. Mass driver cannons. These have their downside being that you can only fire it every other turn, but it does 2 damage this turn, and then you have to wait to reload. Okay, I can do that. Waiting to reload is fine. The enemy has already taken damage, so then you have Ripper Beams, which the amount of damage that they claim to do is actually impressive. It's just that the thing with Ripper Beams is that while the damage that they do goes up in later tech levels, the range doesn't. So they're, yeah. Anyway, though. Oh, yeah. One thing I was explaining a previous thing is that why is the space yard at the bottom on this list? Because when you build components, it goes from the bottom up. So I placed this at a settlement. The settlement has a construction speed of 3, which means that it can repair 3 components per turn. It will repair the bottom 3 so that the space yard and 2 of the engines will get repaired, and that's it. Thing is, the space yard on this will start working as soon as it gets repaired. So that the first turn after me placing this, if the space yard is at the bottom, it will get repaired and start working so that it can help build other things. Now, if this is the only item in the sector, it doesn't really make much difference. But if you queue 5 or 6 items, it matters. This is something that the AI in this game is terrible at because I've seen cases where an AI would commission a pile of like 5 different space stations. One of them a repair base, and another a heavy missile weapons emplacement, and have them in the order where it starts having the settlement build the heavy missile base and leave the repair base untouched indefinitely. So that you have this repair base in orbit that is unusable because it never got actually built. AI suck like that. It's just one of those things where you need to think about the order in which you build things, because otherwise it just doesn't work out right. Also, damage coming in starts at the top and goes down. It doesn't like hit random systems. No, it starts at the top and goes down. So having all of the engines at the top means that when your ship takes damage, the engines will take a hit. And so my favorite strategy is actually to have the weapons towards the bottom so that, like, the engines take damage, like, okay, well, my ship is slower now. It still has all of its weapons functional, so it can return fire and kill whatever was shooting at it, hopefully. Anyway, though, alrighty. Well, I think this is about all I could show without generating several